being first generation, my parents were a little scared, but they supported me 100%. They actually went to Ventura College, both of them. So this was the first time somebody in the family went to a 4-year. So that was something new to them, right?
My parents migrated here from Mexico, so nobody in my family had gone to a university or even to college or anything. I'm not like the oldest of all my cousins, but my older cousins didn't take a higher education, so it was all new. And I wasn't even going to apply to anything because to me it was just like my parents were always like, oh, you're going to get an education, you're going to get an education because that's like the only way that you'll be able to succeed here. And it was always like a thing that they would be telling me, like there was no other option. So I was just like, okay, I'll go to Oxnard College. Like junior year, my senior year, some lady at school was like, you know, you could go to a 4-year university. And I'm like, what's that? Like,
Yeah.
and then that's kind of, I applied to 4 different schools and I got accepted, but they were all here in California, and I just decided to stay local, and that's where I have 2 bachelors, psychology and sociology.
Did you find it hard to find mentors? I know you mentioned someone did kind of
Yeah.
help you.
I think it's really, really hard, especially like growing up where I grew up and just taking into consideration, like, you know, all the, you know, substance use trends and just like basically like living where I lived. It was more of like, you know, most of us were in the low income, you know, type around there, some apartments. So, and then a lot of people that wasn't like what they were. There was like no resources. Like if you needed help for school, like, hey, you want to know how to fill out an application or anything like that. It wasn't really like, you know, the thing. So, this person who came into our high school kind of like serve that purpose. Like she's like, this is what a 4-year school is. This is what, you know, community college is, and this is what you do, and you have to take the SATs and like all of that. I had no idea of any of that. So and that's why I am such a big believer in prevention. Like prevention and outreach, and it's like I think you need that, like you need it because there's so many, not just us Latinos, but like there's just so many other people that need that help, and you know, the resources that otherwise you wouldn't know about, and because of her I love prevention and outreach.
I have a twin sister, and she was applying to the Naval Academy. And so, fortunately, there was a free resource available to her, helping her throughout the whole process. And I remember hiding upstairs, and the lady saw me, and she was like, "Hey, are you interested in applying to college?" And I was like, "Well, I've been storing like a box full of letters that I've been receiving from colleges, but I have no idea what to do with them." And so she asked me, like, "What are you looking for in a school?" And that was the first time somebody asked me that. And I was like, well, I don't know, but I guess like a small classroom size would be for me helpful. And so she helped me narrow down a list, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to only apply to 3 schools. But it takes one person, right, to be that and to see your potential. And that kind of goes back to prevention, right? Because it's a very difficult and challenging topic, but a lot of it comes down to the resources available and connecting one-on-one and personalizing the resources and the outreach too. Because a lot of times we have the same questions, but we might be afraid to ask for help, right? And so that kind of ties into the behavioral health portion too, where I don't know if it's like a personal thing or like an ego thing or a cultural thing, where a lot of us don't like to ask for help, but a lot of times that's what we need to get ahead, and I think we should be normalizing that. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.